Christ's resurrection revealed my 1978 visit from Jesus Christ and 2010 near death experience. Join me as I reveal the resurrection of Christ as seen in my 1978 visit from Jesus Christ and my 2010 near death experience. Now, the following is not intended as an expose about every single religious teaching and the significance of Christ's life, purpose, death, and resurrection. I'm simply sharing my divine interactions from 1978, 97, and 2010. So, my childhood, uh, prior to 13 years young, was of insanity, groomed as a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde survivor, which is no different than everybody in this world, except not everybody is raised in such a dysfunctional surrounding. Still, everybody has a dual persona. There's a duality in every human being. And if you don't keep your stuff in check, you could end up with clinical schizophrenia or whatever, in extreme cases. Anyway, dysfunctional upbringing up until 13, deep pain, light versus dark, strength versus weakness, even suicidal thoughts, in my case. Now, I was taking charge at around the age of 13. I said, man, I am not going to continue this because I realized my mom was on a different path. I didn't have a father. Uh, and my mother was absentee, and whenever she was around, she was making mistakes. So, as a kid of 13, I started taking control of my successes and failures. Not so aware of the failures. I was just trying to not fail. They probably denied my failures. But I was gravitating to leaders and millionaires, any kind of sign of winning, to compensate for my lack of parental mentoring. So, and I was a good kid. Yet still, by the age of 18, I managed to dabble with gangs and drugs and barely avoided prison. I ended up doing, uh, they wanted to give me 10 years in prison, but I ended up 1 year in county jail, and then they take away the good time or the work time. I ended up 4 months in LA County Jail. So then, uh, by 1978, I had a recurring dream over and over every night. I'm in front of multitudes of people. People are coming to listen to whatever we're doing on this platform. I was there with other people on this platform, and then this one night in '78, I probably weeks later, after the same recurring dream, I had a vision showing my future. And these laid the groundwork for Christ's visitation that same night. So that vision that I saw, imagine a kid of 18 years old. Um, I saw the fancy cars, the beautiful houses, tons of money, beautiful women, all the stuff that a dumb kid of 18 would think was success. So, but that now, after that vision, I I'm thinking, man, what the heck? Oh yeah, that vision of my future at the end had a big giant question mark that just penetrated my brain. And then what? The question was what, Joseph? Then what? Like, you can have all these things. Then what? I understand it now, but back then I didn't because I was 18 years old. Or what if you did have these things? Still, so what? Okay, so that's when I pray, and however, I didn't even know how to pray, but God, is this you talking to me, or is this my imagination? Because remember, there's a leading up from the recurring dream. I'm in front of multitudes of people in a platform, and that's making me ask questions to myself and wherever I can get an answer. So anyway, that same night, 1978, I had a visit from Christ that unveiled, listen closely, his resurrection as it relates to you and me. Christ's visitation revealed that our true legacy is one of profound connection and oneness, embodying divine attributes such as omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence across our spirit, soul, and body. So, as a matter of fact, Christ taught me right then and there that humanity's, actually, I will learn it later, but I got a glimpse of it in 78, that our greatest misconception is a duality. Remember, I reference Jekyll and Hyde all the time, because we're misguided into believing a false inadequacy. And part two of that is that we shun and deny our responsibilities that come with our birthright, our true success, and power beyond measure. Because we're made in God's image. Makes sense, right? Do the math. Okay, then further revelations that I received that night, in His presence. His presence immediately permeated my being with unlimited oneness and belonging. What you and I would typically call love. This powerful, powerful, incredible love without the insanity of love on this earth. Jealousies, insecurities, betrayal, fears, etc. Right? Take away the ugly stuff and you think about love, multiply it 1,000,000 times. That's what this oneness and belonging felt like. I started to cry. Tears were popping out of my eyes. They weren't coming down vertical as a normal person cries. They were popping out horizontal out of my eyes because of this oneness belonging. Then I saw the tree of life rooted and grounded in a river of light, river of energy. Okay, that's a whole nother teaching, but moving forward, then there was the silent communication, at least with my physical ears. I was hearing him talk to me inside my body, in my chest area. Because I asked, why did you take so long? This is what I needed from the beginning. And I heard him say, I've been with you always, but not with my ears. Then he cried. And when I asked him, wait a minute, why are you showing yourself to me? Stupid question, because I'm the one that asked him to explain to me what was going on, right? But he cried when I asked why me. Didn't know at the time why, but I understand now. It's because he knew what I really meant. He was referencing my duality, same duality that you had. Okay, my duality, the part that is misguided into believing in a false inadequacy, versus believing that I'm in God's likeness and His image. My birthright as a child of God, of true success and power beyond measure, and that's why he cried when I said, "Why me?" Like I'm not good enough. He knew what he was saying. I understand now. Then I saw an impossibility. Makes no sense. I don't have the answer. But here's what I saw. I saw a light coming down vertical, straight down. That same light all of a sudden is coming at me horizontal. There was no curve. There was no transition. And then that same light was Jesus. And then that same light was Jesus, but as the Father. All at the same time. I'll go into later about there's no time and separation and stuff in a minute, so I'll just keep going. Then in 1981, remember, all this has happened in 1978 up until now. Now I'm going to 1981. The winds are changing. I haven't changed. I haven't given my life to God yet. I'm still a lost kid, 18 years old, with the wrong crowd and doing the dumb things. And my friend Robert Rodriguez, he comes over to my house, and out of nowhere, he says, Joseph, I don't know of anybody that Jesus Christ came to except for you. And you're not following him. What's up with that? Well, I turned to the right because I don't know, wanted to talk and ask God because I too wondered, man, maybe did I blow it forever? So I asked God, I'm kind of ready to change. Is the door open for me still? And a falling star comes down. Then I asked, is that for me? And another falling star comes down. Then I asked a sequence of questions pertaining to my own relationship with God. And that was powerful, right? For the moment, yes. But with my upbringing, guess what I'm doing the next day? I'm on my way to pick up a gun for whatever reason. I was going to go kill somebody. I don't know who or why, some stupid reason. But I met with a friend of mine who was actually a minister, brother of one of my friends, and he same thing as Robert Rodriguez. Now, this is Robert Torres now, and he says, "Man, Joseph, what the hell's the matter with you, man?" And not cussing, but he says, "Jesus came to you. It's been 3 years, and you still are not serving God." Well, God's working on me by now over the last 3 years, and intense the last few months or weeks or days. I just turned around because I couldn't hold back the tears. I didn't want Robert Torres to see me crying. So I turned around, didn't get a gun, didn't kill nobody, thank God. That night I'm going to go to my friend's house to hang out, and then they're not there, so I'm going to go back home. And then I see this a man pushing a car, and then I see kids and a woman in the car. So I got nothing else to do, so I go and to help him. And as I approach him, I asked him, hey, you need a hand? And he says, "Oh man, thank you. God bless you." Because there was no gas stations nearby, at least a mile. So I pushed him, and and when he said "God bless you," wasn't just like words. No, man, it's like energy, man, went into my body because God's been dealing with me. Remember, God is light, and He's all powerful. And when God's dealing with you, when we're open, things happen. So it turns out to be Flat Top and Cookie McCrary, who passed away. Brother of Howard, he passed away also. And I'm sure Mama McCrary passed away. But these are famous people in the ministry. They used to sing for like Oral Roberts, T.L. Osborne, Catherine Coleman, Mario Murillo, Morris Murillo, Kenneth Hagin, just all the big names of that time. Remember, I'm talking 1981. So that's 32 years ago. Well, so he invites me to a all-night prayer meeting, which happens to be Good Friday. I went. The next day is Easter Sunday. I want to go to church. I went to church at night. And so I give my life to God. I make my commitment. And then shortly after that, still 1981, this famous uh, minister, Reverend Vicki Jameson, very, well known in those days. She picks me out of a crowd. I'm in a church of thousands of people, and she picks me out. She holds my hand, and she just like stops, and she begins to sing. And she sings, "People here will help. They'll finance you. You will see. The Lord will say go, and you will say, I will go." And she talks to the crowd, and she says, this young man's going to Latin America. He's going to get finance. He's going to help with tons of people. So, things are going good. I had given my life to God recently. I got away from the wrong crowd. I'm not drinking or smoking or drugs or nothing. I'm living the good life finally. Well, little did I know what was coming, right? And man, shortly after that, uh, I lived a dichotomy of heaven and hell for decades that followed. Religion did not work for me, as doesn't for a lot of people. It didn't work for Jesus Christ either. And all the ugly things that were done in the name of Jesus. the Inquisitions, and I'm not going to go into that. But so I'm in church, and I'm all happy. And what happens? My first church pastor, whom I was good friends with, he's removed from leadership because he was actually beating his wife and dating the church secretary. So it didn't go good for me because I was his friend, and the leadership that remained kind of looked at me as unloyal to them. So they were hassling me. So I left, went to another church, and I helped that church grow because I knew everybody in San Fernando. And so I helped fill that church up. Uh, and guess what? That pastor, he gets taken to prison for statutory rape. So, man, I'm going, what the heck, man? And then the new church leadership, they felt the same insecurities and unloyalties, not only from me, but from the other people there. And they were giving us a hassle. So I left. My third pastor, no different. And I just, I left them, and I ended up as a senior pastor of Ministries Incorporated in Fontana. And I finally just got away from religion altogether in 1986, completely broken and traumatized mentally and emotionally, as you can imagine, with all those unresolved Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde issues, triggered because of a horrible religious experience, for the decades that followed. So now it's 1986, okay? Uh, years, when I leave, religion, and I experimented with businesses, and I slipped back into the world. But I had a lot of pain after the religious experiences that I had. So then in 1987, that's like 16 years later, I still was messed up. Um, I was introduced to empowerment teams where I again experienced heaven, like in 78 and 2010, which was to come. Uh, 78 meaning the visit with Jesus, and 2010 meaning the near death experience. But fortunately, the empowerment teams included practical tools for real life transformation. They actually, empowerment teams helped me overcome the many aspects of poverty and addiction. They helped me lower A1C from over 13 to under 6. They helped me lose the 60 pounds that I would gain from my broken back in the near death car accident, which was coming in 3 years from then. And they helped me increase my income from 40,000 annual to 120,000 monthly, earning $3.5 million by age 47 in land development. So the dates kind of overlap, but so that was empowerment teams. And by 2004, that was in 97. In 2004, I started developing a half a billion, $500 million resort community on 154 acres of ocean view paradise. Now check this, that's 2004. Then in 2006, I had completely forgotten about my church days and Vicki Jameson's prophetic song of 1981. So 25 years later, I'm in a church that I was invited to a church in Costa Rica, and I hear Vicki Jameson's prophetic song. People here will help. They'll finance you. You will see. The Lord will say go, and you will say, I will go. Well, I hear that song in that church. I'm in Latin America. I've raised $3.5 million, and my mind is blown away, and it's just a testament, that the perfect accuracy of Vicki Jameson's prophecy into 25 years from then, is just proof of our connected, omniscient, omnipresent that I experienced in Christ's visit, uh, and and what I'll share in a minute during my near death. Okay, then, so that's 2006. Then 2007, guess what? The 2007 and 8, well, and all the way through 10, that recession that we had was a collapse of the banks and real estate. I lost my $500 million resort project by 2010. I tried to save it, so by 2010 it's over. And one of the things that I'm doing on my way to look at my properties, that's when I had my near-death experience. Um, Coming down the hotel and gonna go get some breakfast in the morning, and the brakes went out on my friend's car, and I died. I went to heaven, and it was horrible. It was a fatal near death because my friend died, Gabrielle. Uh, I died and came back, but everything in that, when I was in heaven, everything I had learned in my near death is exactly as I had learned 32 years earlier in my 1978 visit from Jesus Christ. Now, remember that during my 1978 visit with Christ, I mentioned his presence permeated my being with an unlimited, unimaginable oneness and belonging that felt like unlimited love. Okay? Well, same thing. Same thing, which is the same thing that I felt in 97 with the empowerment teams. It's not that the empowerment teams were giving that to us, it's that when I was in that state with the empowerment teams, God opened me up, and I felt the same thing as in 1978, and as I would in my near death. So, so anyway, I saw everything and everybody everywhere as energy, not just a light or a tunnel. Now, everything that I learned in my near death is exactly like I mentioned as before. I think I might be repeating myself. I apologize. And okay, yeah, I am repeating myself. Boy, this is a long video. Anyway, I also learned about the two truths that I mentioned earlier uh, about our legacy. Our legacy, we have two pieces. We have our legacy after we die and what we leave behind. But more importantly, there's our legacy while navigating our lives in this world as God's image and likeness. That which includes omnipresence, uh, and because our true self and legacy transcends present, past, and future. Omniscience, omnipresence, spirit, soul, and body, because we're created in God's image and likeness. So I saw everything and everybody as a connected um, oneness energy that feels, and as I mentioned already, like incredible love, yet without all the insanities of love. Yet everything and everybody maintains its individuality. So it's not like you're just one ball of energy and you cease to exist. No, you're just connected to everything and everybody. It's not a ball of energy. It's the energy around all over the planet, our galaxy, our universe, probably all kinds of galaxies and universes. It's everything and everybody. So then, um, still in my near death, I'm understanding, I'm learning that we are part of God's collective oneness energy. So I need you to think with me here. I learned omniscience by experiencing thousands of answers to questions before I completed a single question on any topic, and in zero time, because God and in heaven on earth, there is no time, no separation, no ignorance, no misconceptions. Are you getting this? Okay, Jesus is our example, right? He's our example to live an unlimited, powerful beyond measure, uh, with purpose. Walk on water, raise the dead, you know, unlimited, as we are in God's image. So what I'm sharing today is simply another window or glimpse into the totality and unlimitedness of God, which includes you. In other words, you're extremely important because you are part. of God's omnipotence. You're part of his omnipresence and omniscience. You're part of everything and everybody, which makes up the collective of our infinite God, which, by the way, we cannot understand from a finite perspective. Okay? So back to misconceptions. Think about it. Even now, you and I are breathing in God's collective energy as one. Considering that God is everywhere, in everybody, and everything, always. So if that's the case, then even when we breathe, we're breathing in a part of God. Back to our greatest misconception. It's that we do not believe that we are part of his one omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence in each and every moment to have dominion according to our specific call and destiny, just as Christ did in his call and destiny. He has a different call and destiny than you and I, but we still have a call and a destiny. So, going further, humanity's greatest misconception is twofold. As I said earlier, we are misguided into believing in a false inadequacy. And number two, we shun and deny our responsibilities that come with our birthright of true success and power beyond measure, considering that we're designed and created in God's image and likeness. So remember when Jesus said, if you believe and doubt not, if you believe and do not doubt, you shall command the mountain and it shall obey. Okay? Christ was addressing our duality that I often refer to as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which you and I must overcome and transition. So, as I come to a close, after I learned how all things work together as a team, and while I was still in heaven, I heard voices, "Get out of the car, Joseph. Joseph, come back." And suddenly, I'm in my body in extreme pain, unable to move. I couldn't even help my good friend Gabriel Corrales as I watched him die before my very eyes. So, to honor everything and everybody that I shared about today, I formed a nonprofit organization named Personal Empowerment Teams, Inc., to help you and I share and live out this life changing breakthrough in real time. You can learn more about it at Personal Empowerment Teams. We have an FAQs page. And by the way, remember that $500 million resort project that I lost in 2008 in the real estate and banking collapse? Well, go to my website and check out Profit Sharing Empowerment Communities and get on the waiting list. It's scheduled for 2035. Okay. If you're serious about unlocking your birthright success and courage to embrace your power beyond measure, cash in on your support. Learn how the champions and billionaires do it and master the tools to become who and what you want to be this year. Transform yourself and others. We'll certify you in the certifications listed in our curriculum on our website. Meet and brainstorm with like-minded trainers, friends, and coaches. Enjoy meaningful times around your priorities and have the time of your life. So before we wrap up, I'm thrilled to announce an exclusive giveaway, 3 empowerment courses, each valued at over $5,000. Thank you for watching this long video and sharing with people that need to hear this. To enter for the empowerment course, simply subscribe, like, comment, and claim your free course today. Take the first step toward becoming the best version of yourself this year.